Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. When Mahatma Gandhi came to this country, he was asked by a reporter at London airport what he thought of Western civilization. He paused for a moment, and then he said, I quote, "Yes, I think it would be a good idea." And I must say, having heard Stephen Rose this evening, I have to agree with Gandhi especially. Our so-called Western civilization has been based on the relentless, unremitting exploitation of animals. We hunt, ride, shoot, fish, eat, wear, trap, cage, factory farm, and experiment upon billions of animals every year. The figures speak for themselves. 500 million animals slaughtered every year in the United Kingdom, 6 to 9 billion in the United States, 30 to 40 million laying hens in battery conditions, unable to spread a wing, unable to see daylight, and standing permanently on sloping wire mesh. Is this the proper treatment of animals, Mary? 3 to 4 million experiments on animals every year, 100 million in the US, 3 to 4 million in the UK. Is this the proper treatment of animals of which Mary speaks? Some of them causing intense and prolonged pain. 1,000 unwanted dogs are destroyed each week by the RSPCA alone in this country. In terms of life, death, suffering, deprivation, the treatment of animals ranks as one of the major moral issues of all time. And this exploitation has been defended intellectually by a number of key religious arguments that I want very briefly to address. It is argued, for example, that animals have dominion, that humans have dominion over animals, and therefore they can do as they like to other animals. In fact, the biblical meaning of dominion does not mean despotism, but moral responsibility and stewardship. It is argued that animals have no immortal souls, a very favorite religious argument. Whereas, in fact, in the Old Testament in particular, there is no suggestion that animals do not possess soul or spirit. And even if they did, it is difficult to see how the non-possession of an immortal soul could make the infliction of pain and suffering any easier. It is argued that humans are superior to animals. Well, on our side, we certainly hope so. We hope that we are capable of fair-mindedness, Stephen. But also, we hope that we are capable of generosity, self-sacrifice, altruism, even gentleness. But it is precisely on these grounds that we ought to be seeking a better world for animals and doing better for them. It is argued that animals are in some way put here for our use, or that they belong to us. But of course, theologically, the truth is they do not belong to us. It is God's world, not our world. Each living, sentient creature has its own God-given worth and value. And most importantly, of course, of all, it is argued that animals do not possess rights. And what does it mean by saying that animals do not have rights? It means historically, whether you like it or not, it means that animals are things, can be treated as things, as resources, as means to human ends, as laboratory tools, as units of production. This is what this debate is really all about. But what I want to say is that I think God is the source of all rights, both for humans and for animals. That God has rights as the creator, the right in particular to have what is created treated with respect. And if we on our side press the language of rights, it's because we believe the heart of this debate is not about feeling, not about taste, not about philanthropy, but about justice. It's about what we objectively owe animals as creatures of God, and in particular what we owe the creator of all. The arguments that have justified the abuse of animals are, in short, intellectually threadbare, theologically ill-conceived, and certainly biblically unsound.
Could you wind up in a minute, please?
By all means. What we desperately need is to recover that early biblical vision of living at peace with creation. We need to find the moral courage within us to make peace with creation, to avoid violence, to live free of injury, to eschew cruelty, to practice just dealings with animals. Now I accept that we are all involved to some degree in the exploitation of animals. There is no pure land. We all, after all, buy food or products, or we pay taxes. Directly or indirectly, we are all involved. But what is essential is that we involve ourselves now in a process of personal disengagement from injury to animals. A Bill of Rights is part of this necessary wider social disengagement. Now, a Bill of Rights for animals will not by itself bring peace on earth. It will not by itself remedy every wrong that animals still have to suffer. But it will be part, I suggest, of what we can only call Western civilization, which, as Gandhi correctly saw, is a good idea. Thank you very much.